This is a ghost town. There are no people anywhere. But there's one thing that makes this place different from other ghost towns. It's the bars. They're all full. What is going on here? This is an old mining town in the middle of the desert in Arizona. The year before, I'd driven by here and stopped at one of the bars just out of curiosity. And the bartender told me the story of this town. The town was booming back in the 1920s. They had 3 bars, 3 hotels, a general store, a train station, and a jail. But then in the 1930s, the mine shut down and most of the people left. The ones that stayed behind were mostly miners and their families. And it wasn't really a boomtown anymore. And then in the 60s, Route 66, which went right through the center of town, was rerouted around the outside of the town. So now people didn't even have to stop in the town to get to their destination. Most people just drove right by. But there's one thing that makes this place different from other ghost towns. This is the only ghost town I know about that has full bars. So I started checking them out. This is the Palace Bar. It looks like a saloon straight out of the 1800s. The walls are made of wood. There are horseshoes hanging from the ceiling. There are all kinds of knickknacks and trinkets. And it even smells like an old saloon. But there's no one here. So then I went into the back room. The back room has a pool table, a dartboard, a jukebox, and a bunch of bar stools. And they're all full. Every single one of them is full. How can a bar have full stools without anyone here? And then I looked above the bar and I saw the answer. All of these ghosts are sitting on bar stools that are full. You can see the man in the bowler hat. You can see the woman in a Victorian nightgown. You can see the guy in the cowboy hat. And they were all sitting here drinking their drinks just like you and I would do after a long day of mining. Then I walked across the street to the next bar. This one's called the Desert View. The sign out front says it was established in 1934. That was the year that my grandpappy was born. And when I walked in, sure enough, all the bar stools were full. There were locals, and they were all sitting here drinking their beers. But something was strange. None of them acknowledged me. They just stared off into the desert. So I poured myself a beer and sat down next to a man in a Stetson. He was wearing a vest and a bolo tie, and I asked him a question. I said, "Hey, how come nobody talks to me?" And he gave me a weird look. He said, "You're not from around here, are you?" I said, "Nope." He said, "Well, then why don't you just mind your own business? Stay out of our town and leave us alone." I said, "Okay," and I poured myself another beer. So I sat there for a while, just taking in the sights and the sounds and the smells of a ghost town. Listening to the crickets and the wind and the old mining train that went by every once in a while. It was amazing, I thought to myself. I bet this is what it was like in the Old West. I bet this is what it was like in the days of Wyatt Earp and Doc Holliday. And I was sitting there enjoying it until I realized something. These guys aren't ghosts. They're just drunk. I mean, who else would sit in a bar for hours without talking to anyone? Who else would ignore a person walking around their town? Who else would let their beer get completely flat? It's not the ghosts that make this place special. It's the drunks. Thanks for watching this episode. If you like this story, please give it a big thumbs up. And don't forget to subscribe, because there are many more adventures waiting for you.